If you ain't got this with your MacBook Pro, then I'm telling you right now, you're missing out. Oh, what up, y'all? So over the years, y'all, I've developed a checklist of things that I personally like to do when I first set up a Mac computer. And in this video, guys, I'm gonna be sharing with you some of my personal settings, tips and tricks, and just things that you can do on your brand new M1 Pro, M1 Max, MacBook Pro computer, or any other Apple laptop, or even Mac Mini for that matter. So let's go ahead and break this all the way down. All right, y'all, so the first thing that I instantly turn off, and that is on by default, that Apple does, is automatic syncing of your iCloud documents and even your desktop folders and stuff. If you guys have been rocking with me for a while, then you guys already know. But wait, before I actually get all into that, I want y'all to go ahead right now, comment down below how many likes is on this video at the time of you guys watching it, because I'm curious on who's watching within the first 500 to 1,000 likes. So let's run it up. All right, so getting back to it, y'all. If you guys know me, then you know I'm always telling you guys to buy external drives and save your stuff to that instead of on your machine's built-in storage. This is because saving too much stuff on it over time, guys, can slow your machine down considerably if you guys are not managing your storage space right. And I know a lot of y'all out there ain't managing it right, so don't tell me you are, because if you do, you're lying. Now, I recommend checking out this site, y'all, called the applenest.com. And it sells a solid amount of Apple accessories, and one in particular that I recommend to solve your problems of having an external storage, but it still looks clean, is buying this minimum USB-C hub that has an internal enclosure for you guys to be able to put a SATA SSD drive in it. Now, this is going to expand your computer storage, guys, for way cheaper than what Apple is charging you guys out there. Now, for example, I want y'all to hear me out. Now, I recommend that you guys get at least 2 terabytes of SSD storage nowadays with these machines, because these file sizes today, y'all, it ain't no joke. Trust me, I know I'm running out of storage all the time. So Apple, y'all, is gonna charge you $600 more for 2 terabytes of SSD storage on their website. Now, if you ain't about that life, just do what I do, right? Buy this SSD enclosure device, an Evo SSD combo, for only $425, giving you a total of 2.5 terabytes of fast SSD storage versus giving Apple $600 and you're only getting 2 terabytes of SSD. It is the wave, and it puts $175 back into your pockets and give you the option to buy something like AirPods or a mouse or a monitor or even that Apple cloth. I'll have a direct link for you guys down in the description section below. If you ain't got this with your MacBook Pro, then I'm telling you right now, you're missing out and wasting so much money. Look, I done got off track, but let's go ahead and get back to that automatic syncing I was talking about. So I recommend going into your system preferences, click on Apple ID, and on iCloud Drive, click options. And where it actually says desktop and document folders, you want to go ahead and uncheck this. That way it doesn't just download a bunch of stuff that you guys have on your iCloud from your other machines onto your new M1 Pro or M1 Max MacBook Pro. You're welcome. All right, y'all, so the next thing is, whenever you guys are trying to bring in like video or photo files, your computer is always going to try to find like a default application to be able to open those with, right? Sometimes it does a pretty decent job, but I like to actually set these up myself for my audio. If we go into Get Info, Open With, I can actually change this default to be Apple Music or QuickTime. Then I can go ahead and select Change All, and this means every file that is a .wav file will open with Apple Music for me, or whatever that I decide to actually choose. And you guys can set this up the same for your photos and other things like that. I personally use Photoshop just because I'm always in there anyway, but essentially you guys can change this for whatever file type you guys want. And speaking of audio, perfect time for me to tell you guys about the sponsor of today's video, and that is Epidemic Sounds, y'all. Now look, if you're not using them and you're a content creator like myself who use these MacBook Pro machines to create some dope fire content, then the most important thing you guys need for your project, y'all, is audio. And Epidemic Sound, y'all, is the only place, and I'm telling you, it's the only place that you guys need to go for these needs. So for the unique intros that you guys hear in my videos, the slinging tech raps on wristwatch, check the whole map, is smooth like butter. I answer calls from a quick tap, see, that comes from Epidemic Sound. Sound effects that I put in my projects. Let's see here. Let's see what video we want to work on. Let's do that. Yeah, let's do it. Yep, Epidemic Sounds. Oh, that background that you're hearing in this video, the music you've been hearing in the background, you know, wait a minute, wait for it. That's Epidemic Sound. So if you guys are looking for an all-in-one place, man, to get your music, your creative video ideas, or just sound effects, then they have over 35,000. Oh yeah, you heard that right. 35,000 tracks and over 90,000 sound effects, all royalty free, meaning you guys can actually use them in your YouTube videos, IG, other social platforms out there, and you don't have to worry about your pages getting suspended or worse, y'all taken down because you was out there listening to music you know you weren't supposed to be using in your videos. You know you can't be using that Dre Certified Lover Boy in your videos. Come on now. And because y'all are watching this video, man, I'm hooking y'all up with a free 30-day trial that you guys can use on me to get started. Trust me, y'all, this is the only royalty-free music platform that you guys are gonna need to take your video productions to the next level on these M1 Pro as well as the M1 Max MacBook Pro machine. So click that link down below, man, to get started. Tap in, let's go. All right, y'all, so the next thing that I like to do is make sure I have the latest updates as soon as I take this bad boy out of the box and plug it up. So I go to the Apple logo in the top left corner and I click on About This Mac. And under the Overview tab, just click on Software Update to check to see if you guys are on the latest macOS update before you just start doing heavy configurations on your machine, because when you guys bought it from the Apple store, it may not completely be updated, so it's always good to check that out. All right, y'all, so the next thing that I like to do is organize my dock on my machine. Now, the first thing that I tend to do is set mine to hide show when I actually need it. So in order to set this up, all you guys have to do is go to System Preferences, click on Dock and Menu Bar, and where it says automatically hide and show the dock, I will make sure this is checked. Now, what this is going to do is give you more screen real estate to play with, and it just looks much cleaner, especially now that we got a notch on the top of this screen that we all love. You guys can also go ahead and right click on the line here and select turn hide and on, and it will also hide the dock as well. You can also move this bar to the right or the left side of the screen by just right clicking where this little line is on the dock and hover over position on screen and select right or left. Now you can also resize this dock by clicking and holding on the line and just dragging up to make it bigger and then dragging down to make it smaller. Now the next thing that I personally like to do, y'all, is remove any unnecessary things that I may have in my dock by just right clicking on the application and only keeping in the dock the applications that I personally use the most. Now my rule of thumb is, and I know everybody out there got their own rules for this, but mine is, have I used that app in the past week? If the answer is no, then I get it out of here. There's no need to have it there's no need to have it in my dock. So all you have to do is go to the dock, and on the app that you guys want to remove, right click on it and go to Options and select Remove from Dock, and then you're done. It's just that simple. The less stuff that you guys have in your dock, the better for maintaining, guys, a cleaner setup. Now, although I don't recommend you guys save all your things to your desktop because it just becomes a cluttering mess. And we talked about buying that USB-C SSD hub that I mentioned to you guys earlier in this video from the applenest.com that I'll have for you guys down below to help you guys out with that. But if you guys are the type of person out there and you don't want to actually listen to me, and I get it, you know, everybody don't want to listen to me, but you save a bunch of stuff to your desktop, then I recommend you guys turn on Stacks. Now, this is going to take related file types like photos, videos, screenshots, and just group them together like you guys see right here. So in order for you guys to set this up, then all you guys got to do is just go to the view at the top and select Use Stacks, and it will collapse everything to make your desktop go from this mess to this clean look right here. Now, by default, it groups by file types, but you can also have it grouped by date or by tags if you guys tag your files. But I don't know too many people who tag their files, but you know, for those that do, you got that option. All right, so the other thing to me that is a must is within my Finder window screen, and that is for me to be able to see the file path, so it makes it easier for me to be able to navigate within my file menu by turning on Show Path Bar and Show Status Bar. Now, if you guys can see, the path bar is added as well as with the status bar. I can easily see how many files that I have in each folder, but mainly I use that to see how much storage that I actually have within my external drive at the time. See, external drives are the wave, y'all. I keep trying to tell you. Also, within the folder structure, I always change mine to list or column view, just because to me the structure is just way easier for me to be able to use and just see everything in one glimpse. Now, one thing that you guys may notice is that by default, your scroll bars on your M1 Pro or MacBook Pros are disabled, and you have to scroll first in order for you guys to be able to see that scroll bar appear. But to me, I like them to kind of already be there. So in order for you guys to turn this on, just go to your System Preferences, General, and where it says Show Scroll Bars, you want to select Always. And now you guys can see all your scroll bars on your screen without you guys having to scroll first. You know, it's the little things that matter. Now, next thing, if you guys have your Apple Watch, you definitely want to turn this feature on, and that is unlock your Apple computer with your Apple Watch. So this means anytime that you guys have your Apple Watch on and you want to go ahead and unlock your computer, all you guys have to do is be next to it. It will unlock using your Apple Watch as authentication. So to set this up, just go to your system preferences on your machine, go to security and privacy, and under general, select use your Apple Watch to unlock apps on your Mac. This is a dope feature, y'all, and I highly recommend you guys turn this feature on. Now, the next thing I like to do is just set up my mail app with my email addresses. Now, I'm not gonna actually show you guys all of that on here, but if you guys use something like Gmail, you can just log into your Gmail account and then boom, it'll be right there within your mail app to be able to check all of your emails and stuff without you having to go into the web browser to do it. All right, and the last thing that I like to do, y'all, is set up what I like my default browser to be. Now, most people, they probably just gonna use Safari, and if you do and you enjoy that browser, then I say actually keep it. Just keep using it because it is the most efficient browser to use in regards to the use of your memory on your machine. But for me, I like to use Safari and Chrome together. Depending on what I'm actually using the web for, I use Chrome for certain things and then I use Safari for certain things. Like, for example, if I'm on YouTube and I'm watching videos, I always use Chrome because it allows you guys to be able to see videos played back in 4K, whereas Safari, it doesn't really play that well with YouTube the best. But I find myself using Chrome the most, and I always set this as my default browser. So yeah, this is what I like to do every time, guys, when I get a new Mac computer and setting it up to be able to be productive on it. Now, if you guys found this video helpful, definitely make sure you guys go ahead and give this video a like and go ahead and subscribe as well, because we on our way, y'all, to 100K subs. So let's go ahead and run this bad boy up. So if you guys rock with me, then go ahead and join the squad as well. There will be a link for that down in the description section below as well. And then check out all my other Apple content you guys see here on the screen. Other than that, I'll see y'all over there. Squad.